All right, welcome everyone. Sir Heroscape here today, coming at you with a review of today's PulseCon 2022 on Heroscape Age of Annihilation. Also show you the Haslab campaign, where to find it, and hopefully cover a little bit of information that you've been hearing through the grapevine. To first start off, I think it would be a great idea for you to download the Hasbro Pulse app. So go here in your app store and check out the Hasbro Pulse app. That's going to be a really easy way to access the campaign for Heroscape, as well as just order it and stay updated on it. And again, for those of you that are out there and somehow missed the announcement, Heroscape is now officially live in terms of the campaign to refund it. So we've got 45 days to back this project. Now, something that's been out there that people have been kind of mentioning on, saying is, oh, well, if we don't fund it, they'll just release it into retail stores or this, that, and the other. That is actually not the case. And Carmine did confirm that if it is not backed here, Heroscape will be canceled. Let that sink in for a second. So it puts a lot of pressure on the community, and it makes me want to give the good old Hasbro piece of my mind, because the goal is to reach 8,000 unique backers. Now, that's a lot for a dead game that hasn't been around for 12 years. But there's hope. Let's just jump in by covering the actual campaign contents first. So when you come into the Hasbro app here, you're going to want to, the Hasbro PulseCon app here, you're going to want to go to the Haslab tab at the right, and you're going to see Heroscape. So we can just click on Heroscape, and it brings us into the campaign itself. So there is a little bit of intro video, so I think let's go ahead and watch it for those of you that missed it.
We thought the Wellsprings were a blessing. We thought they gifted us with the powers of God. Visions of the future, armies summoned from distant galaxies. We were wrong. The Wellsprings bring our world nothing but pain, nothing but suffering and endless destruction. Driven to war to protect them from the clutches of Utgar and his minions, the Valkyries came together in a fleeting moment of hope. But my visions of the future drove me to despair. I gave up everything the Wellspring provided. The strength, the armies, the visions. Until I saw my own home reduced to ash. Until I heard the whispers and rumors of our Valkyrie and other Wellsprings. Not knowing where those allegiances would fall drove me even further into madness. Driven by revenge, I can no longer sit idly by. If I do nothing, I will lose more than my home. I will lose everything. The world reduced to the memory of a flame. You can be a hero or a pacifist, but you cannot be both. Peace is but a dream in Valhalla, a dream I can no longer seek. I will carve my name into my enemies, and everyone will know who stands against them. My world no longer needs a scholar or a historian. It needs a hero. Customize epic battlefields, draft your army, and join the greatest battle of all time. Heroscape, Age of Annihilation. Become legendary.
So pretty dope video trailer that they had prepared, for the announcement today. That was the first thing they showed. That was during the watch party as well. And so if you haven't seen that yet, that's, pretty great start to the Age of Annihilation. You got to see a lot of different things there. The designs, the fortresses. Thormoon is the one narrating. That's Thormoon again, just like in the original webisodes, narrating kind of what's going on, kind of from his perspective, right? So really, really cool stuff. So now that we have that as context, let's go ahead and jump into the campaign itself and check out the details. So we're just going to skim through here a couple things. So Heroscape Age of Annihilation, Vanguard Edition. Note the price point here at $250, but that is all in. So there's just some information there. The game features, this is key, you guys, is I want you to note that there's 71 detailed miniatures, okay, at the top there. 50 army cards. Actually, it's corrected. There's 51. They have 9 jungle pieces, right? We're getting the new Tikala jungle. There's going to be 6 and 3. So the 3 trees and 6 bushes, and you're getting 68 wall terrain, right? You're getting the walls as well as the figures, as well as the jungle. There's going to be 5 separate factions. There's going to be 20 game scenarios, which will cover about 2 campaigns worth. And you're getting a bunch of terrain as well. 74. It mentions there's 74 base pieces, so quite a lot of content for the 250. Note here that it's going to be running from today until November 15th, and that it will ship fall of 2023. So we don't have a definitive date on that yet, but that was already anticipated as the timeline. Also note here, you can see the actual tracker. So you see the days, hours, and minutes left, as well as the current percent completion. So we're actually doing pretty awesome at 10% complete. There's already 778 backers as of this afternoon, just a few hours ago. So really, really great stuff. Now let's look at the campaign details. So this is the wide view of what you're getting. You've got an example of the army cards, and this is verified that these will be the style of the army cards. They noted that the original army cards had a lot of dead space between the hexes, and so they wanted to use the extra space by just making it a full hex for army card, powers, imagery, what have you. They also noted that the digital rendering on the cards will be colored so that painters kind of get an idea of what paint style they can do for this particular unit. So that's really cool. It's also coming with 12 glyphs, 12 dice. I thought this was really cool that they're doing a white D20, whereas the original was the black D20. And so we don't have any confirmation on what kind of glyphs we're getting. They could be the same, but they also could be all different, which would be really, really cool. We're getting some cool kind of maroon order markers, so that's pretty sweet. The maroon wound markers. And then this has everybody freaking out a little bit. Yes, those are tiny wound markers, as they've been noted by the design team. And those are added so that you can put them on the base of a figure. Now, pause for a second and think why that might be relevant. Yes, squads with multiple lives. That has been confirmed by members of the team. That squads with multiple lives are in Heroscape, and it will be part of this set. Now, I believe that's going to be primarily the unique squads, right? So, it makes a lot of sense for these bears who are just bulky and massive to have, maybe 2 or 3 lives per squad or per squad figure. But that has been confirmed that multiple life squads are a thing, which is pretty freaking dope. Also note the walls. The connector pieces there at the bottom, a very simple connector piece versus the castle walls of the Arch Kiri, which were extremely difficult to put together sometimes. Note the edges as well, a very simple locking mechanism there. I'm really happy about that. It looks like it's going to be really simple to lock those in, as well as it looks like the end pieces are the hexes, and then the wall pieces go in between them. So it's not going to take up as much space as the Arch Kiri fortress did. Also, taking a look at that jungle, looks really, really good. Very similar to the original, but slightly different. I mean, you've got these bushes which are just slightly different than the original, but still look great. And the miniatures, there's just a ton of them, and they're massive. I mean, look at how big the Lich is. He's almost taller than the walls themselves. You've got the Nesbit, I believe, is who that, if I remember correctly, the flying thing, and then you've got the dragon. So I mean, these miniatures are on a massive scale. That's the phalanx, that the up from the Brood, which is just gnarly. Yeah, I mean, you've got the Death Forge thing over there that melts things, and then you've got the I think Maladrix, the Queen. Oh man, just massive stuff. So really, really cool, imagery here, being able to see. That's random. They have a random order marker there in the middle of the map. I don't think that's significant, but it's there. Also, note the water here looks pretty bland, but they did confirm that the sparkly water will be in the set. So that's not sparkly water, but they did confirm sparkly water will be what comes in the set. Here's another picture of the miniatures a little bit more close up. So we get a pretty good idea of the size comparison and the detail, which is amazing. Really, really impressive. I love how massive the Queen is. Holy. The fact that they were able to get her. The fact they were able to get her onto a base is ridiculous. These are two, as you note there on the top, Haslab campaign exclusives. So these are actually two exclusive figures that are only going to be available through purchasing through the Haslab. So if this goes to retail and everything's funded, these two miniatures will not be available to anyone that buys it at retail. So there is a small incentive for purchasing, obviously, it now. Though small is a relative term, there's every incentive to purchase or back it now, because if it's not backed, it won't show up. So we got to back this thing. But yeah, these miniatures are massive and look amazing. Here's just another look at the cards. Obviously, they don't have the values there. But yeah, you just get a really good close-up on the figures and the paint job, yeah. Another imagery of the walls themselves and kind of what you can do. So those actually are ruins. So there's a few ruins in there as well as the actual wall pieces. So that's pretty cool. And then here's the box. And so I was correct that that is going to be box art, that imagery that they released or that we talked about yesterday. And so this is the box it'll come in, that actually looks pretty shallow. I bet it's going to be a lot deeper than this makes it look out to be, because that is a ton of content they're going to be putting in this thing. So as you scroll down, it talks about the exclusive figures. It gives you a little bit of a few blurbs there. I'll let you read into those. The stretch goals, this is significant, you guys, because we previously saw the designs for, Sergeant Drake 3.0, Sonlin 2.0, Q10, who is actually technically, note there, Q11, Shiori, and then Evil Raylan. So these were all, we knew about these, but these are actually stretch goals. Note that at the top there. Again, if you look here, so 10K backers. So the goal is 8K backers. If we hit 10K backers, then that's when we get Sergeant Drake 3.0. And remember, he's got a jetpack on his back. If you watch the Haslab announcement, Craig Van Ness also indicated that he has a grapple arm ability where instead of moving around with it, he can grab people with it and pull them into engagements and then attack them. So first off, pretty freaking dope. And second off, it's going to operate similar to like a chain grab, I would imagine. But I just love that miniature that he's launching off. That is so cool. So Sergeant Drake is 10K backers. My Sonlin, I really want him. He's going to be so legit. Is only going to be part of the campaign if we get to 12K backers. And that miniature just looks so dope. Oh my gosh, I'm wigging out. Major Q11, which is basically, Q10 Reborn, will be at 14K backers. And then Shiori, which this is the first time we've seen what this is all about. Shiori is, I actually don't know what this is all about. There's some ideas that, you know, she herself has got mirages or image, you know, of herself that are fighting, or maybe this is like a sequence attack where it's, you know, her performing like a whirlwind or some sort of massive sequence. But there's also talk that these actually could be 3 separate figures that, as part of her master ability, she has the ability to duplicate herself to attack. So that's the miniature. Have no idea what it actually implies, but freaking dope. So we get her at 15K backers. And then at 16K backers, we get Evil Raylan, which is just such an insane mini. Oh, man, it is so cool. So if we get Evil Raylan, I mean, yeah, this will just be an incredible feat. So really exciting stuff. Keep scrolling down. You'll be able to see, again, more blurbs on each of these. You know, they just talk about each of the different miniatures here, so you can scroll through and get a quick debriefing. We've seen, I think, most, if not all of these. This does talk, these are the familiars, so I don't think we've seen these all. We did see that guy. Yeah, we saw him. So I think we might not have seen this familiar or this familiar, but those are the familiars of the Dryan Lifeborn Order. Nemesis Warbrood, we've seen these ones. Yep, the Phalanx, the Unique Squad we just saw the other day, and then obviously the Queen. So Dawn Raider Syndicate, I think we've seen all of these as well. Yep, we've seen all of these as well. So nothing new or crazy there, other than the miniatures obviously being rendered here look pretty freaking dope. So again, I just invite you to go out and check out the app so you can take a little more time to read through this. I don't want to take the whole hour of your time today reading through them, but you can just see this looks pretty amazing. All right, let's see. Yeah, we've seen these guys. Yeah, look at that. Then we keep going down. Oh, yeah, the Death Forge and the Lich. Oh, so cool. Yeah, obviously. And then the Lord of Ruin. So crazy. And now for something else that they revealed during the campaign was new Kiri. Yes, it's not going to be part of the campaign this offering time around, but in the future, we're going to get some frickin' boss new Kiri, you guys. Let's check it out. And here we have something that was revealed as well. New Kiri. So this is Misarix, Kiri Warrior of Revna. And yeah, I freaking love this design. Look at her. She just looks so cruel and evil and scary, and skulls and spines everywhere. Just incredible design. And I love the Kiri wings. That is very, very dark and gnarly. So we're going to see some very unique and new designs. But this was also part of the reveal today, was that while this isn't going to be part of the original, backing, if Heroscape gets funded, then we will see an expansion into the Kiri faction or the Kiri species, right? Is that there's other Kiri as well. Oh my gosh. So we've got a few more. This one is, I think that's a Quirion, Kiri Warrior of Vidar. So again, kind of a mix of the metallic wings. Well, actually, I think it's all metallic, yeah. So metallic wings, super dope spear. Looks like she's got, I don't know, kind of the leather belts and buckles and stuff. Not seeing too much other than, yeah, she's just a straight up warrior. So pretty dope with the spear, I guess. Not too much to say about that one. We have Ziamara, Kiri Warrior of Valarak. Something to note here that stands out about her is the full-fledged ornamental armor and a massive sword and amulet she's got. Something unique about Valeric that we do have confirmation on is that her main ability is that she uses the Wellsprings to craft and forge new armor and weapons for the people that follow her. And so this is a Kiri of Valeric, and clearly she's been crafted, sword, maybe the armor, not sure, but amulet probably. So that's one really cool thing about Valeric as a new Arch Kiri, that she's gonna be crafting some cool stuff. We've got Glenerva, Kiri Warrior of Aquila, and this is super dope and exciting because this will be our first Kiri for Aquila officially, and we don't have a confirmation that she's from the Moon Tribe, but we do know that the Moon Tribe were Kiri, Aquila Kiri, from the lore back in Heroscape. So it's very likely and possible that she is of the Moon Tribe, which would be super dope. Look at that. That's so awesome. We have Mielki, Kiri Warrior of Valeric as well. So again, you do see this ornamental armor, headdress, and dope spear. So that looks pretty sweet. And again, the Valeric ability is that she crafts the armor and weapons for her leaders or for her peeps. So super cool. And finally, Kill Korax, Kiri Warrior of Revna. Apparently Revna really likes these creepy witch lady Kiri because we've got another one, just like the first, who, oh man, I am in love. Look at that. She's just total, pain and cruelty. Like, man, she is crazed. The skulls and bones and everything on these chicks are nuts, dude. Like, holy cow. That is going to be some fun stuff, seeing what they have to offer to the battlefield. And then finally, of course, we can't leave out Utgar, Loviatak, Kiri Warrior of Utgar. Sick armor, massive battle axe, loving the battle axe. That is just so dope. And man, she looks like she's on a mission to do some hurt. So I am excited about that. The spiky armor, that's a weapon unto itself. And the tethered wings that are, got holes in them. So she's been fighting a battle or two. Oh man, so cool. So quite a bit there to cover. We were able to see, first off the campaign itself. You also were able to see just some of the miniatures, kind of what's offered. You're able to also see those new Kiri designs that, again, if Heroscape's funded, we're going to be getting some new Kiri, which is super exciting. But let's talk some real details and my first impressions and review of how things are going. Some things that have come out on the Discord since the release this afternoon, just general information. Again, the 8,000 backers is the goal. That's roughly $2 million. And then 16,000 is the end of the stretch goals. So we've got 8,000 is the target, 10,000 gets us Drake, 12,000 gets us Sonlin, 14,000 gets us Q11, 15,000 gets us Shiori, 16,000 gets us Evil Raylan. So again, those are backers that are participating or purchases rather of the main set. So for example, if I buy 5 sets, then I'm considered as 5 backers. So really, if you're buying multiple sets, it's attributing to the full thing. Now, I want to be very clear on one point, you guys, is that you are not being charged today. You are not being charged today. What I mean by that is the way that these things work, the way that Kickstarters, Haslabs, the way that this entire thing operates is that you are pledging to pay the money at the end of the campaign. So today you enter your information, you put it into the system, and you say, I am pledging that I will purchase this set. but you are not getting your card charged today. I want to be very clear about that. There's a lot of you out there that are freaking out because you don't have the money now. You've got 45 days before you have to pay on this, okay? So if you don't have the money now, don't worry about it. Go ahead and back it now, okay? And in the next 45 days, do whatever you need to do to get the $250, okay? I tell you what, you mow 2 lawns, mow a lawn for, $20. You mow 2 lawns on a Saturday, that's, $40. I mean, you do that for 4 Saturdays. I mean, right there is $160, right? You're over halfway there. And then you can scrounge together maybe a couple extra lawns, right? Or or an extra day mowing or something. I'm trying to point out is it's possible. $250 in 45 days is absolutely doable, right? Because if you've got a paycheck where you get, paid every 2 weeks or even every month, okay, save $50-$60, okay? And then, the rest obviously, can come from gifts or from family and friends. I don't know. I'm just throwing this out there. If you have a birthday, if someone else has a birthday, if your wife has a birthday, if it's an anniversary, okay, maybe a little bit of that can go towards this. It's an opportunity of a lifetime, you guys, to bring back a game that we all know and love that's been gone for 12 years. Because this is just the Kickstarter, or this is just the Haslab, I guess. It's starting off to say there's enough interest that this game will live on. It's proving to Hasbro that this game never should have been left in the dust. It should have been out in the front of all of our game stores for years and years and years. And so if we can prove to them that this is worth it, then we have the opportunity to see this stick around for years to come. I know it. So you've got 45 days. Go on, back it now, pledge the $250, say you're going to do it, lock it in, and then you figure out in the next 45 days how you're going to pay for it. Again, times are tough. I get it. Life happens. I'm just saying it is possible to go out there, mow a few lawns for $20 on a Saturday for a few Saturdays. Some people were saying go and give plasma. That is an option as well. There's all kinds of different things. Just save off your paycheck, whatever it is. Work a few extra hours, work overtime on a weekend. Whatever you got to do, we've got to keep this thing alive. So let's get it done. Again, you don't pay now. You pay on November 15th if it's funded fully. So if on November 15th it's not funded, you don't pay a dime. If it is funded, you pay what you purchased, right? But you don't pay until November 15th. Now, for those of you out there that are a little bit concerned about, hey, are we going to be able to make this? Keep in mind, this is day one. Day one of 45 days, right? As I showed earlier, we were, almost at 10% fulfillment. I think it was like 700, almost 800 backers, right? So yeah, it was like 780, almost 800. So we get to 800 backers by the end of day one, which is really only a half day, right? That's pretty dang good. I mean, obviously there's still a lot of work to do. We got to go out there, market, and let our friends and family know. But, that's still in day one and 44 days left, a lot of opportunity, right? So a lot of opportunity to get the information out there, get the, other, game stores, people interested or that have ever heard about Heroscape, let them know and get them involved, right? Because this is, one of the biggest games of its time and can be again. Now, for those of you that also are like, okay, well, how does this compare to other backer situations? Think about HeroQuest. So HeroQuest, I think it was last year, year and a half ago, when they came out, they were able to raise $3.8 million, okay? Now, the asking price was just $1 million. The target was $1 million, right? Dollars, which would be, I guess, the equivalent of like 4,000 backers, because we're doing 8,000 backers, it's about $2 million. So they had about half the ask in terms of target for a 30-year-old game, right? And they blew it out of the water. They got 3.8 million, or almost, what would be the equivalent of, almost 16,000 backers, I guess, because when we're looking at 8,000 backers, that's roughly 2 million, 16,000, roughly 4 million, right? So anyway, they were able to blow it out of the water, their campaign. So Heroscape has a much more live community. Something that I was talking to and Carmine about was he was saying that they do anticipate and expect Heroscape to be much more successful than HeroQuest, simply because HeroQuest was 30 years old. There was a really active community for a while, but then it kind of tapered off and it continued to kind of die over the years, and there wasn't really an online presence. But with Heroscape, even though it's been dead for 12 years, it's been extremely active, alive, and I'd say even growing in recent years, because of the community that's kept it alive. And so when they were looking at their qualitative data and just understanding the environment of the people that are going to purchase this game, and being able to get those people, not only just diehards but people that have been participating over the years, they really felt like the sample of people willing to purchase and get back into Heroscape was just as big, if not bigger, than HeroQuest. And so they're confident that we're going to be able to meet that target, which gives me some hope, because it's always daunting to, one, see a target and feel like you can't reach it, but also, two, knowing that if you can't reach that target, then Heroscape goes away probably forever. If this doesn't happen, it's not happening at all, which is terrible to think about, but the reality of it. Now, some personal thoughts on what I think about the campaign. I thought it was a great introduction to everything that they've done. I mean, obviously there's some designs that we didn't get to see, like, the penguin and the mammoth. Those were more recent developments, right? Those are things that will come if Heroscape does get funded. I think there were a couple other designs as well that we missed out on. I'm not 100% sure, but the majority of what we've seen over the past, 42 updates I've been doing is in this offering all together for $250. Now, keep in mind, Rise of the Valkyrie, at the time that it was sold, came with ruins, base terrain, and like 20 figures. We're getting 70 figures, 50 army cards. We're getting base terrain, which is almost just as much as the original Rise of the Valkyrie. We're getting Tekala Jungle, so not 9 bushes, and we're getting a castle set. So we're basically getting a master set and 2 expansions, plus like 3 times as many miniatures as the original game. And all for $250, all in, right? Boom, you're getting it all. So first off, amazing, because you can sit down with whoever you're playing with and have dynamic terrain and dynamic games for a very long time, because you're going to have 5 different factions, multiple different interactions between heroes and squads. There's like 2 unique squads for every faction. I think I'm just throwing that out there generally. And you're going to be able to play all kinds of different games because of the number of terrain and units that you have. And so I think that's what they're trying to do here, is say, hey, you diehard fans, obviously we want to get this to you. We want to get this on your tables. We want you to be happy with what you're purchasing. But for the casual gamer that wants to be able to just buy it once and be done with it, so to speak, they're going to be able to purchase it for $250 all in and can set it up with their friends and play for ages, right? And if they want to come back and purchase more, they can come back and purchase more. So I get that. Additionally, there were 2 really good posts on Facebook that I wanted to cover, because I think they do a really good job of simplifying the issue for us and helping us all understand what this actually means. So first off, Brian Roney does a really good job of actually identifying just how much value this brings to us. So, he says, I want to do a pricing analysis, and he actually talks about the contents here. I won't read through all of this, but he talks about the contents here of the current release for the $250. He then goes down here and he approximates the original game with inflation. So here he mentions Rise of the Valkyrie is $40 in 2004, $63 in 2022, and he compares kind of what you're getting in the old set versus what you're getting in the new set. And then he gives his analysis after this breakdown. So, pause the video, read through this, let me know what you think in terms of the specifics. But When you come down here in conclusion, this is what he gets at. In conclusion, to create a comparable lot from original Heroscape's release using MSRP would cost roughly $370 adjusted for 2022 inflation. This is $250. Now, granted, you're not getting painted minis anymore, which is certainly where the 120 savings comes from. But you have to remember the cost of shipping and hand painting has risen substantially in the past decade and a half, and it's a good thing considering the original Heroscape was painted in Chinese sweatshops, blah, 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 right? So, but his point is that we're getting a ton of content for $250, right? I mean, the miniatures end up coming out to something like, $3 a pop or whatever, $3.50, $4 a piece. That's incredible value. Just go on eBay and look up miniatures, just generic miniatures, and you'll find that plenty of them go for above that. And we're talking about some really massive figures too, not just small, medium size. So that first post he posted pretty early on, and then he followed it up with this a little bit later, which I thought was really, really good. I'm seeing a lot of negativity in comments saying the price is too high around here or that they'll want to buy it later. Even ignoring my post about the MSRP analysis, ask yourselves this, Heroscapers. Do you want to live in a world where there is no new Heroscape released ever, and for $250 you can't even get 2 squads of dwarves? Or do you want to live in a world where we bring back Heroscape, get a full set of terrain with great expansions, and 71 new figures for $250 with tons more to come? Because this is it. This is our one shot. This 45-day window determines whether or not we ever get new Heroscape. If you don't back it in this time frame, Chris has confirmed that the project ends there. It's not going to retail. Heroscape is dead forever, again. So unless you want to live in a world where Heroscape costs the prices in this picture and will only go up, then start saving now because the clock is ticking on bringing back our favorite game. And he posts, naturally, all things Heroscape prices. $150 for a squad of dwarves now. $150, you guys. $30 Brave Arrow, right? Cap on Gladiators, $120. Morrow Dividers, $72. Absurd. Absolutely absurd. Okay? Think about that question. Do you want to live in a world where we get Heroscape back for $250? Or do you want to live in a world where you can't even buy 2 squads of dwarves? 2 squads. Can't even do it. So I just really love the imagery and the candidness of that post, because it really brings it back down to earth for all of us. Set aside your opinions, set aside what you're seeing on the campaign, and think about that right now, today. Heroscape costs $150 for a squad of dwarves. on eBay, you're spending $50-$60 for a hero or a squad of something else, right? I mean, if you're trying to get a friend into the game, you basically have to try and 3D print all of it, and even then sometimes that doesn't work because 3D printers are fickle, or depending on the quality of your printer, it's not good, right? Now 3D printing's been great, it's been helpful, but if you want anything official, classic, it's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare, you guys. And this is our chance. This is our chance for $250. I spent $250 on a couple squads not that long ago because I had no idea Heroscape was coming back. And we've all done that. Over the course of the last 12 years, we've accepted that it was never coming back. And so we spent the horrible prices to just get it into our homes so we could play with it. And now we have an opportunity to spend $250, get a massive set. And really what it's doing is it's establishing the Heroscape brand back in production. That's what it's doing. We're not paying just for the set or the miniatures. We are paying for Hasbro to bring back Heroscape for years to come. That's what it is. So really the ball's in our court. The War Council, Avalon Hill, the team of Heroscapers who have been a part of the community for the last 12 years have been working their butt off over the last year plus to get this to a point where they can say, here you go, community. We've done our part. Now what do we do? It's up to us. The ball's in our court. It's up to us to show the executives at Hasbro that they were wrong. That Heroscape never should have been canceled. that there was a massive community of people itching to have Heroscape back. And when it did come back, we responded with, beyond anything they could have anticipated. We're all in this together. This is Heroscape we're talking about, okay? Heroscape. We want this game back. That is what we have in common. Regardless of all our other opinions, that is our common ground. That we want the game back. Regardless of if you hate the decisions, love the decisions of unpainted, non-painted, tier system, all in one, whatever it is, our common ground is we want this game back. And that doesn't happen if we don't back it. This is it. You can hate the game all you want, but if you love Heroscape, then you're going to back it. And I know some of you are going to say, well, Sir Heroscape, that is a terrible position to take because it's not worth my money because I have hardship. I get that. All I'm saying is two things can be true at once. You can be, you can say it's too much money. You can say, well, I don't know if I'm going to like it. But this can also be the only time we're going to have an opportunity to buy this game. Two things can be true at once. And those are two very true things. Craig has confirmed it. If this doesn't go, then it's done. Save your lunch money every day for the next 45 days, right? If you spend $5, $7 going out and grabbing grabbing a lunch, if you get a coffee in the morning, right? Don't do it. Save that money, okay? $5 a day, $7 a day, whatever it is to grab a coffee or a breakfast or a lunch, on your lunch break, save that money. And all of a sudden you've got the money. Heroscape has come back and we have the opportunity to save it and to bring it back and to fund it and to allow Heroscape to live for years to come down the line. If you want to make a decision, make the decision to back it, you guys. It's still worth it. It's still worth it buying one. It's an amazing opportunity. It's an amazing way to back. There's a lot to gain. There's a lot of value in what you're actually getting. I've spent more on a lot of other things in life. So $250 for a game that's trying to come back after 12 years and one of the best games out there is a small ask. So excited that this is happening. Excited for you guys. Please tell me your thoughts in the comments. Again, please be positive and supportive. Obviously, you can have your opinions. I have my own opinion. I want to be supportive. I want to tell my friends and family all about it so they can be excited about it too. Let's just make it happen. So, thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time.